What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. Welcome to the third ever podcast. Today we have Keyena. Keyena, can you tell us about yourself?
Hi, I'm Keyena, and so I go to UBC. I'm a nutrition student. I'm really into health and fitness and all things kind of lifestyle based. I love goal planning, and I actually recently won Miss Teen Canada.
Yes, and when you won that, we none of our friend group, like everyone in our friend group, we didn't even know you were like into that kind of stuff, like beauty pageant stuff. So like tell us how you got into that originally.
So basically, when I was in grade 12, I don't know why, I had a very optimistic mindset and I just wanted to do more and more and more. And so I ended up signing up for a pageant, and then I got super busy with school and just getting my first job, and I had to drop out. And that didn't really sit right with me. Like, I hate quitting things. Like, I will put myself through hell just to not quit something.
Yeah.
So my mom had said to me that maybe I should think about entering the Miss Teen Canada pageant. And so I kind of thought about it, and then I just signed up. And from there, I just became a finalist. And that's like, it was the first pageant I ever did. And it was something I had thought about because growing up, I loved watching like Miss USA, but it was never something I had seriously thought about. And I think maybe that was because you don't really hear a lot of information about pageants in Canada. So you kind of have to go out and source and find your own information about it.
Hmm. And you had to like fly. Where did you go for like the finals?
So the finals were in Montreal. So just
Oh
outside of
yeah,
Montreal, there's
Montreal.
a city called Laval. And yeah, it was pretty great. I had such a good experience. I met like amazing people. Like, some girls I met, I just like clicked with like right away. And like, go figure, like I made friends with literally all the French people. So it makes no sense
Yeah.
because I live in BC and they all live in Quebec and like New Brunswick, and I'm like here. I'm like, okay, well, see you guys later. Like, but
Was there like a process? Like, was there, did you have to do it first in BC and then you have to like qualify for the finals first?
no, for this pageant, you don't actually have to, but there is a Miss BC pageant that isn't affiliated with the Miss Canada organization.
Okay.
So some girls do that. I wasn't aware of this when I signed up for Miss Teen Canada, and had I have been aware, I would have signed up for Miss BC. But
Mm.
a lot of girls from Miss BC actually, like anyone in that organization, they actually perform really well in Quebec when they compete for Miss Canada or Miss Teen Canada.
Mm. You know, what what are the stuff like what kind of things do you have to do for beauty pageants? Because like on TV, I see like you perform like you can show like different skills you have and like people like sing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so for our pageant, we don't do a swimsuit competition, and we also do yeah, we don't do a swimsuit competition, and we also do like a, instead of like a talent, we do like a mini speech. So everybody gets a chance
Oh,
to speak on what they're passionate about. Like, they give us three questions and we pick one to answer in like a mini like 30-second speech. And then, you do your formal gown walk, you do your walk, and we call it a red dress walk. And
okay.
for Canada, right? The red. And then if you make it down to the top six, you're asked a question where there's headphones placed in your ears so you can't hear. And you're asked a question live in front of everybody. And that's kind of, I don't know how much weight that has in the actual judging, but that's like, it's kind of like a testing of how prepared are you to take on this role.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my question was, I actually went last because when we did the final six, I was first announced, and for some reason I walked to the other end of the stage. That ended up making me go last. And the question was, what do you think is the most important issue facing our generation? And I was the only person that didn't say climate change. I said self-acceptance, because I feel like we have all these goals and we want to change the world, but we have to start with working with ourselves, is what I basically said.
Mhm.
Mm.
And why do you think that? Like, why do you think it has to start with working on yourself first?
I think that, I went through a really rough time in high school where I was really unhappy, and it made me feel like if I didn't feel good, I couldn't do anything productive for myself, but I couldn't do anything for anyone else. Like I wouldn't do my homework. I wasn't willing to help people. I wasn't, I think I don't want to say I was not kind, but I was more like if someone was doing something good, I felt like that was bad for me. And I think that when you're in a good place with yourself, you are more willing to give back to like your community, people around you, like your family, and like the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it always starts from like, if you can't get yourself right, then if you can't help yourself, then how are you gonna help other people around you, right? Like,
Yeah.
just, like make sure you can provide for yourself, and then you can focus on providing for other people, right?
Yeah, I think that I found out at a very young age that if you don't love yourself, it's impossible to love or help anyone, because you are the person you know best. So if you don't know yourself best, it is going to be a lot harder for you to understand other people.
Okay, so you're now in your second year and you're studying food and nutrition, and you told me that now you're kind of interested in business, right? So
Yes.
what made you think that? Like why are you interested in business now?
Okay, so I was like, when I was in grade 12, I had completed all my sciences ahead of time and my math as well. And I really like science. And so when I was applying for universities, I was going in the mindset with nursing. I volunteered at a senior center home, and I
Mhm.
still love, like, it's weird. I love hospitals. Like, I think because background in first aid as a lifeguard, all the science stuff, I'm really into it. But I just noticed that with like my bullet journal and how much I like to bake, there's something missing. And it's that like creative aspect of, life. And so I was talking to my cousin's aunt at a party, and she's like, well, why don't you just start a cookie company? And that was about a week before I was starting university. And
Mhm.
then I just had this like flash, like, oh my God, I need to be in business. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm self sufficient. I'm always doing things for myself. That is perfect for me. And it was like weird. It completely came over me. And I just knew, oh my God, I need to be moving towards some sort of career, not necessarily in business, but I want a business myself. Like I want to be
Mhm.
self-employed, love to have my own company one day. And it was weird. It just hit me. I feel like I've always been very ambitious, and I just think about like my whole life. I did I didn't realize, but I always felt like, oh, I don't have a talent. My brother's a hockey player and that's his entire life. But for me, I did dance, and then I did cheerleading, and then I had a bullet journal, and then I like cooking. And so it's not like I have one thing that completely outweighs the other, but I'm quite multifaceted. And I just see myself and I'm thinking like becoming a nurse. And even if I moved up, I don't think I'd feel satisfied in a job that wasn't changing with the world.
Mhm.
I just think I need a job that's flexible, that allows me to grow, try new things, and ultimately be creative.
And right now you're still doing food and nutrition. Are you gonna switch to business or
I It's like, okay, you know what? Last year, actually not even last year, this was January 2020. And one of my goals actually was to have a clear direction by the end of the year of where I want to go with my career. And
Mhm.
in January 2020, I had the biggest breakdown. I saw an advisor for food, nutrition, and health. I saw a business advisor. I saw a career advisor. And I was like, you know what? Like, I want to start a business. I don't want to be a dietitian. I don't want to be a nutritionist. I love food. I love sugar. I don't want to tell you, don't eat sugar, right?
Yeah.
When I was thinking about switching into business, I started to realize, and I don't want to take away from people that do business degrees, but personally, I think that when you're in business, it's usually to get a corporate job or something in marketing. And I definitely think it would be helpful to take some courses in business,
Hmm.
but the actual content of my business is going to be involving health. It's going to be involving nutrition. And so I thought that, and like, I thought that was a better field for me to stay in because I may not know all the business parts, but A, I'm going to learn that as I go. And B, I want to have information on what I'm trying to sell, like my service is. And so then it was weird because I went to see a business advisor, and not only did he have an undergrad degree in my faculty, he also had his own Lemon Square company. And that to me just said, like, you know what? Maybe just stay here for now. I don't know if getting a degree in business will help you. So that's kind of where I left business, and I decided, I'm going to stay in food, nutrition, and health. So from there on out, I continued with my degree. I didn't do any summer school. And
Hmm.
this fall, I went full on with, in the summer, I got really, really into fitness and nutrition. And I think I went through a phase with, COVID, not being able to go out, not being able to do a lot of other things I would normally do. So it was really easy for me to focus in on that. And then when I went back to school and was busier, I realized that I love fitness and I love nutrition, but there's a lot of other things I like as well. And I don't know, like I like that wellness like career, but part of me thinks that I do a lot of my wellness in, communicating with people and talking. My friends call me the therapist friend. And so I don't know, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should be switching into behavioral neuroscience because it's really psychology based. And I'm thinking, I'm kind of going in more of a like life coach, wellness expert direction for my business. And
Hmm.
so, like, I still want that business, but right now I'm trying to figure out which degree and which programs at UBC will give me the best information I need to be successful in whatever kind of business I want. And right now, I kind of think that maybe doing some psychology would really help me out.
Yeah, I think psychology is actually like, if I were to get a degree, or anyone, I would recommend psychology because I think like it relates to everyone, right? Like,
Mhm.
no matter what like career or pathway you choose, it'll always be like super helpful.
Yeah, and I think like I did Psych 102. I did like a social psychology class in first year, and it was my favorite class. And I think that even if I do end up switching out of nutrition, I will probably minor in it just because like I like nutrition and I think it would be valuable for my learning,
Mm-hmm.
but I think psychology would be very helpful as well because I've been trying to like figure out. I know I want a business. I know I want it in the wellness space, and I'm trying to get as well-rounded of content as I can because fitness is a part of it. Health is a part of it. Nutrition's a part of it, but so is that mindset. And I personally think that the first step in any sort of goal is you have to make yourself believe that you can do that goal,
Mm-hmm.
make it come true.
To finish off the podcast, what are some goals you have coming into 2021, and what are some goals for after you graduate university?
Okay, so I make my goals at this time of the year for like 2021. Like when the year ends, I make next year's goals like right in around this time. I haven't actually like gone through the particulars yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I have like an overlying theme for 2021, and I really want to focus on like my creativity and my content. And I also want to focus like internally, like on myself, because in the past I feel like I am very big on self-love and self-care, but I think I sometimes put too much pressure on myself. And like for instance, university is something I want to do, but like for example, taking 5 classes was way too much for me, and I wasn't able to do all the creative stuff I wanted. And so I think having a balance is a really big goal for me in 2021. And when I finish university, oh, I haven't thought about that because like I don't really know. Like I'm probably gonna take an extra year.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or
and I
just any long-term goals?
Yeah, like I do know that when I do come out of university, I really want to just go straight, like I want to walk into my career as if it's already been going on. It's just now it's like full time. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people take a break between university, and I might do that, but I really just I want to be like set up so that like I work as a lifeguard right now. Ideally, by the time I graduate, I'll maybe keep that job for a year, and then I'll be able to move full time into my business, because I want to start working relatively young. Because when I picture my future, I'm very family orientated, and I want to make sure that I have time with my family, my parents. If I have my own family one day, I don't want to feel like, I don't want to be like 55, 60 years old and feel like if I don't work, I'm going to pay for it, like financially, or like, I kind of want financial freedom. And I kind of feel like if I hustle more when I'm young,
Mm-hmm.
then I will get a nicer break later when I'm older.
Yeah, just like doing all the dirty work now so you have an easier
Well, I
future.
have the energy and the inspiration, especially like in university. You are exposed to so many different like thoughts and people and cultures and like ideas, and you're constantly being forced to grow and educate yourself. And while you're around that education, it forces you to change and like go with the world and whatever direction it's going. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that when you capitalize on those opportunities, it will really help you.
And that wraps up today's podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.